the Steve Allen Show, presenting Martha Raye, Jimmy Dean, Jennie Smith, Don Adams, Army-Navy football captains and stars, Rita Camp. As an extra added attraction, Errol Flynn. Plus Louis Nye, Tom Poston, Don Knott, Skitch Henderson, and the orchestra, and yours truly, Gene Rayburn. Brought to you tonight by Coldine Cold Medicines, the most powerful cold remedies you can buy without a prescription.
Wonderful, fresh deodorant. Fresh, days, fresh.
And the Greyhound Corporation. Remember, it's such a comfort to take the bus.
And leave the driving to us.
And now here he is, the star of our show, Steve Allen.
Howdy. This may turn out to be National Smoked Ham Week or something. I dare say there isn't a man jack of you in the country who doesn't know what I'm about to call this. You've all seen the comedy programs. You want to join me? We'll all do the joke together. What is it, audience? A smoking jacket. That's right. $400 for no laugh. How do you like that? It's a pretty stupid idea. Anyway... we're having barbecued ribs here any minute. A little bit dangerous. Anyway, Merry Christmas, as long as I'm still with you. And as you can see, do you think I look a little awkward? We're getting ready for the holiday season, and it's really a wonderful time of the year, except for one thing. I actually think that Christmas is getting too commercial, don't you, Bill? It really is. Every place you look, you see these ads in the magazines with Santa Claus selling neckties, and he's on television selling automobiles, and Santa Claus is selling wristwatches and soft drinks. If this keeps up, I can just see Santa Claus come tumbling down the chimney, jumps into the room, and he says, "Oh, but first a word from my sponsor." It'll come to that any day. Anyway, we do, to play it straight for a second or two, want to be one of the first, anyway, to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and the holiday season. One of the other people who wants to say just about the same thing is my talented friend, young Jimmy Dean, down here. Hi, Jimmy. How you doing?
Lovely weather. Over the snow outside, the smoke inside.
Great. Are you going to be, oh, dear.
No, I'm not.
You're not either. You going to be able to sing with all this smoke?
We'll do the best we can.
I think this jacket once belonged to Otto Harback. No kidding, I got to get out of this. I'm burning up.
Can I help you?
Well, yeah, thanks. Oh, boy. Whoop. You're about to see a TV first, ladies and gentlemen.
There, we just burned up 2 floor directors.
You'll see a human death right before your very eyes. Let Ed Sullivan top that. Anyway, Jim, we're going to be very honored right now by having one of the biggest Christmas record hits of the season. That's your brand new record hit, Sandy Slayfoot. So if you're all set to throw her on the fire, I guess we're ready to hear it.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Now his name was Sandy Slayfoot, and oh so sad was he. For though he stood just 4 feet tall, his feet were 3'3". Now he tried to help make Santa's toys, but with his feet so long, but he'd trip and fall and break them all. Just everything went wrong. Now little Sandy Slayfoot, don't you feel so blue? Even with your feet so long, God has a place for you. The other kids made fun of him, they laughed at him with glee. But Sandy Slayfoot learned one day, without skis he could ski. So when the night for Christmas Eve, the reindeer's stable burned, he skied downhill and saved the deer, remembering what he'd learned. Everybody loves him, and Santa loves him too. And ever since on Christmas Eve, he's helped bring gifts to you. fun of him. They laughed at him with glee. The Sandy Slayfoot learned one day, without skis he could ski. And in the night for Christmas Eve, the reindeer stable burned. Well, he skied downhill and saved the deer, remembering what he'd learned. Now everybody loves him, and old Santa loves him too. And ever since on Christmas Eve, he's helped bring gifts to you.
Thanks very much, Jimmy Dean. Well, we got all the fire out. It's time to bring on a wonderful young comedian right now, a man by the name of Don Adams. But first, that's the words I always say, but first, I want you to see something. See what we have here? That sneaky? I'm telling you, those Coldine folks think of everything. You'd never guess that this was a chest rub, would you? Well, it is, by golly, and what's more, this Coldine stick chest rub combines the most modern and effective ingredients in the easiest to use form that you've ever tried. You see how it works? Like a king-size lipstick. Your fingers never touch it. Coldine Stick Chest Rub is the only one you can use without getting yourself or the youngsters all greasy and messy. And you don't like greasy youngsters, do you? Of course not. There's no sticky stuff all over the sheets and pajamas, none on you. When you rub Coldine Stick across the chest, forehead, and nostrils, it goes to work fast. And its vapors are inhaled instantly. Congestion starts to break up immediately because Coldine Stick Chest Rub has no grease to hold back the medicated vapors. So for feelable pain relief in seconds without grease or discomfort, look for this red display at your drugstore and get new Coldine Stick Chest Rub. You know, in show business parlance, a monologist is a comedian who just sort of stands up here in one. That's the phrase. It means right out here downstage. And the fellow just stands out here in one, and he delivers a monologue. He has nothing going for him but words. He has no songs, no funny dances. So here now is one of America's brightest new monologists, Don Adams. Don, what are you going to do for us tonight?
Well, first, Steve, I'd like to sing a few songs, and then I'll go into my funny dance.
Thanks a lot. I saw you scratching your forehead. Would you give me a little one here? That's fine. Here he is, Don Adams. Listen to this. Now, it's football season and all that jazz.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to spend the next few minutes with you, and I cut a little article out of the paper that I thought might be of some interest to you folks who are going Christmas shopping. It says that they're developing a new car that will be powered by electricity. And this electrically powered car will cost about $5,000. That's $1,000 for the car and $4,000 for the extension cord. It might be a nice present. I imagine that a lot of the folks looking in tonight are married, especially the men. And those of you who are married are probably very familiar with the thing called women's intuition. Yes. Well, for those of you who are still bachelors and don't know too much about this, I should like to explain briefly how it works. For example, it's a cold morning, and the car won't start. And you've tried everything that you know how. You've cleaned the spark plugs, you've cleaned the carburetor, you've charged the battery. Nothing helps. The car won't start. And your wife walks in, and you say, "Honey, the car won't start." And she says, "Of course. The bolt is loose on the license plate." So you smile and you tighten the bolt on the license plate. Not only does the car start, but the dashboard clock that hasn't worked in 4 years starts ticking like Big Ben. If something goes wrong with the television set, you don't send out for anybody, you don't bother with tubes, you go downstairs to the basement and you tap a certain pipe 3 times. Sometimes you tap the wrong pipe and you have to be led back down again like a child. I was working in the workshop the other day with an electric drill, and the electric drill wouldn't work. And I said, honey, the electric drill won't work. And she said, change your shoes. So I put on a pair of old white sneakers, and the electric drill still wouldn't work. I said, honey, I changed my shoes, and the electric drill still won't work. And she said, stupid. I said, change the fuse. Who ever heard of making an electric drill work by changing your shoes? This is the way it usually works. This naturally brings us to the subject of football. I have just returned from a visit to my home, which is in New York, upstate New York, and while I was there, I went back to my old grammar school, and I visited all my old teachers. They all remembered me. I just graduated last September. Actually, that's a lie. I'm a college man. I went to a little university in upstate New York, a small school. You've probably never even heard of it. Glick. It's a small school. Anyway, we had a man up there, and he was a football coach, and he was one of the great football coaches. As a matter of fact, he was known in sports circles. Well, he was known just everywhere. We just used to like to think of him as Mr. Football. Leon Football was his name. And I'll never forget the day that we played State University. It was during halftime, and he was giving us one of his magnificent pep talks. All right, men, I'm not going to stand up here today and give you one of my magnificent pep talks. I'm not going to remind you of your old alma mater. I'm not going to remind you of the honor and the glory of this school and its great colors, which have gone unblemished for the past week and a half. No, I'm just going to remind you of the bets we have on this game. We're loaded up to here. Those bookies mean business. Now, men, we've got a job to do, and we've got the players to do it with. Now, Glansky. And we expected bigger things from you this year, Glansky. Well, just don't sit there when I'm talking. That's better. Now, Zapmara, you're a good end. And Hopnagel, you're a good halfback. And a good end and a good halfback go hand in hand. But not on the campus. Giving the student body a feeling of insecurity. Now, why can't you men try and be more like Jonesy? Incidentally, I want to commend Jonesy in the magnificent way that he tried to block that kick in the first quarter. Took real guts and courage the way he dashed in there like a maniac. By the way, where is Jonesy? What's that? What's he lying there for? And stop sticking your tongue out at me. I'm your coach. What's that? It's not his tongue? Well, somebody get that football out of his mouth. One thing I can't stand is shirkers. All right, men, I've tried to do everything in my power to help you win this game. I want to apologize about using the poison gas in the first quarter. As you know, the wind was blowing the wrong way. And among other things, we lost our entire cheering section. Yes, well, nobody feels this more than I do because, as you all know, before becoming head coach here this morning, I was assistant cheerleader for 27 years. And so at this time, I should like to lead you in one of my favorite cheers. All right? Everybody up. Boom-a-laka, 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 boom. Boom-a-laka, boom-a-laka, boom, boom, boom. A ling-a-laka, ling-a-laka, boom. ling orangutan a rick, a rick a ticky tack, orang, a rick a zack, a rack-a-lacky bo. A ring-a-ting, a rick a ticky tack, a brow wax a wax a wax, brow wax a wax, hi ho, walla go wax. A ring-a-ting, a ring-a-lang. Ring-a-ting-a-lang-a-rang. Orangutan, a rick-a-ticky-tack, a ring-a-lack-a-boom. A ring-a-zing, a tang-a-lang-a-boom. Ring-a-tang, a ring-a-rack, a rick-a-ticky-tack, a rang-a-lack-a-boom. Yay, glick. Kind of gets you right in here, doesn't it? Makes you sick to your stomach. All right, men, before sending you back out to that slaughterhouse, I just want to go over one or two more things. There have been some nasty, vicious, ugly rumors going around that I have tried to fix the examination papers and trigonometry of some of the members of this squad. And these ugly, vicious, nasty rumors have been directed at some of our new boys that we recruited from the Mau Mau. All right, Ben, stop rattling those spears. In leaving you, I should just like to leave you with the words of the founder of Glick University, Morris L. University, who said, Boomalaka, boomalaka.
Great, isn't it? We enjoy Don's work very much, and that's why we keep bringing him back. He's just about a regular member of our family. For some reason or other, I have a habit, I don't know when I got into it, but I have a habit of wondering, what's going on. Hi, sweetheart. Well, I'll tell you a little later what I was wondering. We'll get right down to business now. Sorry I got nothing for you to eat. Martha Raye will be out here in a moment, but right now we do have a question for Steve Areno. Steve-O, how do you feel about mystery stories, huh? I'm a kind of a collector myself. I like all kinds. And here's one of my favorites. A mystery the Greyhound people are solving every day, fair weather or foul. Watch this.
What is the mystery of Bus 509? Why are these three people on it? A businessman, a middle-aged woman, and the man who keeps his eyes closed. Mystery? There's really no mystery. Listen.
On a 200-mile trip like this, the bus gives me a chance to work. No car to park either.
I'm visiting my children. It's so safe and comfortable to go by Greyhound.
I'm a lazy kind of guy. Like to just sit back, relax, and grab a nap.
There's no mystery about why people go Greyhound. Remember,
relaxing while we're riding in a Greyhound bus. We're seeing all the scenery and comfort plus. It's such a comfort to take the bus and leave the driving to us in a Greyhound bus. Lucky us in a Greyhound bus.
Say just a couple of seconds here to give you a little reading tip. My good friend Earl Wilson has a book out that I think you probably will enjoy reading. It's called the NBC Book of Stars. And just about every one of your NBC favorites is written about in this very entertaining book. I'm sure they'll have it at your neighborhood drugstore or bookstore very soon. The NBC Book of Stars for Earl Wilson. Now, I promised you a moment ago Martha Raye, and here she comes. We've all watched the Hit Parade television show for a good many years. I know I have. It's a program that's noted for the flawlessness of its production. There's practically never a misstep by a dancer or a goof note by a singer, or a mistake on the part of the production crew. And I'm sure the show will continue to be as good as it always has been. But how many of us ever really appreciate what an accomplishment that is in relation to that show or any other? There's so many things, you know, that could go wrong with a TV show. Most of them just rehearse for 3-4 days, some of them less than that. And right now, Martha Raye is going to do a Hit Parade Extra. We'll do it first the right way, in the flawless Hit Parade way, let's say. And then we'll go back and Martha will do the number again. And the second time, you'll see what might happen if things got a little hung up some night. Here we are, first, the correct way.
And now, a hit parade extra. It's 5 o'clock. Time to close shop and dance out on the sunny side of the street.
Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. All can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. You hear that pitter-pat. Happy tune is your step. All can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade. Those blues are on parade, but I'm not afraid. Rover, crossed over, haven't got a cent. I've rich as Rockefeller, so to set my feet on the sunny side, on the sunny side, on the sunny, sunny side of the street.
Well, there's the number just about perfectly. A little badge fell off there, but that's show business. But actually, when you stop to consider that these numbers only, as I say, get a day or two rehearsal, it's really remarkable that they're as good as they are, most of them. The average Broadway show, for example, to do a number like that would have maybe 4 or 5 or 6 weeks of rehearsal. So now we're going to see the same number again, this time as it might be performed on a television show if fate stepped in and things went wrong. Here it is.
And now, a hit parade extra. It's 5 o'clock. Time to close shop and dance out on the sunny side of the street.
Grab your coat and get your hat and leave your worries on the doorstep. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. Oh, yeah. Be so sweet on the sunny. I used to walk in the shade, had no blues on parade. I'm not afraid. Over, cross over. Always at my feet. Sunny side, on the sunny
She'll be back. Oh, dear. It's still happening. We almost were in big trouble. Things almost went right. We had a number of things planned to explode or something, and they were going just beautifully the second time. Well, that's television for you. Martha will be back a little bit later. As a matter of fact, we'll be back in a minute ourselves. And I want you to stick right along on the NBC party line here, because as soon as we tidy up, Dinah Shore will be along. She has a lot of wonderful guests tonight, Jimmy Durante and Rossano Brazzi, and just a great lineup of people. It'll be the usual wonderful Dinah Shore show. And we will be back with Errol Flynn and Martha Raye and Rita Gam and a lot of wonderful people, and the Army and Navy football captains will show you some film of their exciting game right after station identification.
Rossano Brazzi and Jimmy Durante join the Dinah Shore Chevy Show in color tonight.
You know, on the old Tonight Show, we used to have, well, we had 90 minutes a week, so we could kind of just slurp along at any speed we wanted. I don't have time now to read the letters I used to, but I'm going to take just a couple of seconds here because we got a big kick out of this one up at the office. It's on the stationery of the Chamber of Commerce of Little Rock, Arkansas. And since there's been some bad news out of Little Rock the last few months, I thought a little bit of good news, something on the light side, might sort of give you as much amusement as it did us. It's from R.W. Hedges, and it'll be a particular interesting thing to all you folks who are fans of the man on the street portion of our program, and who isn't. You know Don Knotts, he's a little shaky fellow when I say, "Are you nervous?" He says, "No." Well, Mr. Hedges suggests that we work into an interview. We weren't able to do that, but I did want to tell you about his letter. That I ask Don Knotts the question, do you know the name of the new mayor of Little Rock, Arkansas? Because the answer is Knoop. That's actually the man's name, Warner Knoop. It's spelled K-N-O-O-P. And Mr. Hedges says Warner's life hasn't been the same since our program has been seen down there lately. Everybody keeps saying, "Are you nervous, Warner?" And he says, "Nope," and they have a lot of fun down there in Little Rock. Now, I want you to see something. Isn't that a pretty album cover? Well, it should be, because it contains a lot of very pretty music sung by a very pretty girl. Her name is Jennie Smith, and it doesn't take much intelligence to predict she's going to be one of the big stars of next season. Here she is to tell us that sometimes she's happy. Jennie Smith.
Oh
In case you tuned in late and wondered who the pretty girl was singing, her name is Jennie Smith, and we'll be having her back on this show, I'll tell you that. Now, in a moment, we're going to meet the Army and Navy football captains and stars, but first I want to tell you about a little interesting research I've learned about on how people select deodorants. As I think I told you a couple of weeks ago, I've discovered that they keep switching from brand to brand. Would you go along with that, Bill?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you know why they keep switching? Because they are looking for one that works but does not irritate. So that's why more and more of them these days are ending up with either fresh roll-on, fresh stick, or fresh cream. I suggest that one of these three is for you because they do the work, but they do not irritate. And that's a special good news to people like myself who are sort of the fair skin type. Sometimes you have a problem. A lot of you folks, you know, can't even go out in strong sunshine without being extra careful. So if you're looking for safety and effectiveness, look for Fresh. Fresh deodorant stop all the moisture it's safe to stop. It's not safe to stop at all, is it? Of course not. Stop it all, you'll explode all over the whole neighborhood, and you don't want to do that. So use Fresh. We use it at our place, and you have your pick, as you know, of the three. Fresh roll-on, fresh cream, and fresh stick. Right, Daisy?
Right, Mr. Allen. Fresh stick, fresh cream, new fresh roll-on too. There's a fresh deodorant perfect for you. Television is so educational.
These are, we may have a flash for Luella Parsons here any minute. Anyway, these are perhaps the two most famous animals in the country right now. I'm keeping my hands on the thing here. I don't want to get hung up. But these animals were seen by over 100,000 spectators yesterday at the Municipal Stadium in Philadelphia, and by millions more on the NBC television network. The big event, of course, was the 68th annual Army-Navy football game played on a rain-swept, muddy field. The final score of the game, as most of you know, was Navy 14, Army 0. Now I'd like you to meet the captain of the Army team, Jim Kernan. Here comes Jim. And next, the captain of the... Are we all right? The captain of the Navy team, Ned Oldham. Here's Ned. Now, Jim, in a very fine pregame story in Sports Illustrated, it said that Army has been bludgeoning the opposition with power plays that have brought them at least 3 touchdowns in every game this season. Yesterday, however, you fellas were unable to score. Now, do you think that the muddy field might have had anything to do with that?
Well, I don't know, Steve. The way we went into it, it didn't matter if it rained, snowed, or what came, but I think the mud hurt us a little.
I see. Well, Ned, you certainly had quite a day for yourself. As those of us who saw the game are aware, you scored all of Navy's points by running for 2 touchdowns and kicking both the extra points. And,
Yes, sir, Steve, I'd like to say that it was a team victory all the way with the coaches and the team and the brigade behind us the whole time.
well, Jim, who would you say were some of the outstanding Army players yesterday?
I think most of the boys did a fine job, but one player in particular I think did an excellent job with Ben Barton.
Your fullback, huh? Well, we have Vince here, too. He sure is good typecasting for a fullback, isn't he? Great big husky fella. Vince, we're going to look at some film right now, and first we'll see the Army attack in action. Do we have the film in there, fellas? First we'll see, is it up? Yeah, here we go. Halfback Pete Dawkins turning the end for 10 yards. Ooh, there he goes. And next you'll see quarterback Dave Borland on a rollout, throw a strike to Dawkins, who is down on the Navy 29, right there. And now quarterback Borland fakes to Vince Sparta here as he clears the way for a 6-yard gain by Dawkins. And we'll see a little more film in just a moment. Ned, I don't want to embarrass you by asking who was selected as the outstanding Navy player in yesterday's game, but everybody knows who it was. It was you. And while the fellows are winding up the film machine, I just want to take a couple of seconds, incidentally, because I know a lot of their friends are looking in, too. I want to meet these guys who are in charge of the mascots before we wind up. What's your name?
Vince Panaya.
Vince, nice to meet you. And the Army man here? Tom Cleffy. Tom Cleffy. Tom, why does this mule have... why does this Army mule have AA on the south portion there? Does that mean Army?
That's Army brand.
I see. Oh, well, there's 2 A's back there. I thought it was Alcoholics Anonymous or something. No, wait a minute. I just wanted to clear that up. Now we'll see the film of the Navy fellas going into action here. I guess we'll be set to roll it in just a couple of seconds. In the first play, we'll show you Navy quarterback Tom Forrestal connecting with a short pass to Ned Oldham. Laterals to Raye Wellborn, and it's a 20-yard gain. And then you'll see Navy Captain Ned Oldham here going to the outside. Now watch this one. Pretty tricky. Ooh. And now Ned gets the ball, and Army cannot hold him. Watch this one very carefully. He scores from 6 yards out. Looks like he cannot move ahead. There's a whole meeting there, and he suddenly walks out of it. See that? Now, in the last quarter, here's Army fullback Vince Sparta punting the ball. Oldham catches it and brings the crowd to its feet with a really brilliant run back to score Navy's second touchdown. There he goes all the way. Almost, but not quite. Yeah, that was a very, very beautiful run. I understand you and your teammates are going to be pretty busy now New Year's Day, huh?
Yes, sir. We're going to be playing Rice in the Cotton Bowl. We hope to have a real good time down there.
I'm sure you will. Jim, I know that a lot of young men who watched the game yesterday and who are looking right now are interested in finding out if they might be eligible to go to West Point or Annapolis. Just who can go?
Well, I think there's a misconception. Most people think you have to be some super intellectual to make West Point or Annapolis, but I think it's just a normal graduate can make it. Really.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to hear. I'd like to mention just now briefly one other thing that the Army as well as the Navy is very interested in. It's a new stadium which is going to be built on the grounds of the Naval Academy at Annapolis, Maryland. It'll be known as the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, being built by public contributions only. So if you'd like to help, send your contributions to the Stadium Fund, P.O. Box 777, Annapolis, Maryland. Gentlemen, the best of luck to you. We've been honored to have you with us tonight. I know a lot of you have seen a wonderful panel show called To Tell the Truth. Well, in just a moment, we're going to give you our version of that program. And now, while the fellows are setting the stage for that particular sketch, we're going to give you just a little advice as to what you can expect if you tune in next week to see our program. Here's tonight's lovely billboard girl, Miss Pat Polk. Here's Pat. That must be a pleasant noise for a young lady when you hear the audience go, ooh, when you walk out. Pat, what's your hometown?
Elmont, Long Island.
Elmont, Long Island. Well, we're happy to have you here with us tonight. Now, we have a lot of friends out there watching in Elmont. Now, next week, we'll have Peter Lawford with us. We'll also have Sal Mineo. And Guy Lombardo and all the band. Shelley Berman, very clever young comic. And the wonderful Rosemary Clooney, and our own group of fellas. And Pat Falk, I hope we'll have you with us very soon again. Thank you very much. Now, Errol Flynn and I will, and Martha Raye and the whole gang will be getting together for the sketch I mentioned. But first, we want you to take a look at Greyhound's new Scenic Cruiser service, the safe, all-weather, dependable way to travel. Here it is.
Announcing a brand new idea in bus travel. Smooth as a feather, comfortable as floating on air. It's Greyhound's exclusive new Scenic Cruiser service. The year-round, all-weather, dependable way to travel. Featuring these 4 extra comforts that make driving yourself old-fashioned. 1, controlled air conditioning, cool in summer, warm in winter. 2, picture window vision for every passenger. 3, air suspension ride for easy chair comfort. And 4, a completely equipped washroom. No wonder Greyhound's Scenic Cruiser service makes driving yourself old-fashioned.
relaxing while we're riding in a Greyhound bus. We're seeing all the scenery in Comfort Plus. It's such a comfort to take the bus
and leave the driving to us
in a Greyhound bus. Lucky us in a Greyhound bus.
Friends, you'll find both these buses on Scenic Cruiser service, the single level and the dual level. Whichever you take, remember this, you don't pay 1 penny extra for Greyhound's new Scenic Cruiser service. A long time ago, back in the early days of television, the panel show, since that time, has remained one of the most popular forms of entertainment. Now, tonight is a special tribute to this type of program. Steve Allen and his guests would like to present a panel show of their own. To tell a lie.
Yes, indeed, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to America's favorite panel show, To Tell a Lie. It's a very simple game. One of our 3 guests is a well-known celebrity, and it's up to you, the viewers at home, to stay home, and it's up to our panel here in the studio to figure out who is a big liar. Now, what is your name, please?
My name is Errol Flynn.
And what is your name, please?
My name is Errol Flynn.
And what is your name, please?
My name is Errol Flynn.
All right, gentlemen, I have here a sworn affidavit which I would like to read to you. It says, I have been in motion pictures since 1935. My first movie, Captain Blood, made me a star overnight. I was under contract to Warner Brothers for many years and was voted one of the top 10 moneymakers in the industry. I have led an adventurous and dangerous life. I've been married 3 times. I've sailed the 7 seas on my yacht and have written 2 books and many magazine articles. At one time, I was a light heavyweight boxing champion and made the semifinals of the Olympics. I am best known as a swashbuckling lover and am famous throughout the whole world as a ladies' man. Signed, Errol Flynn. Now, all 3 claim to be Errol Flynn. 2 of these gentlemen are phonies. All right, panel, here we come. Let's see how sharp you are over there. It's up to you to figure out which one is the real Errol Flynn. Now, on tonight's panel, we have, of course, our wonderful regulars. First of all, the very lovely, there she is, by George, that's Polly Wanacracker. Polly is the young and very talented song stylist who has a show of her own, the Dinah Shore Show, and also I'm sure that you recall seeing her not long ago in the Henry Morgan story. Well, there's an early picture. Now, next to her we have the famous actor Ralph Bellboy. Ralph just came in from Philadelphia, where his new hit show closed in rehearsal. And next to him is that lovely singer and actress Kitty Carlott. And you no doubt remember her performance in that stirring horror musical Dr. Jekyll Meets the Karaoke. And last but not least, my friends, columnist and man about town, High Gargoyle. There he is. His latest book, I Know Who Told Marie Tory, is now on your newsstand. All right, panel, we're going to start the questioning, first of all, with the beautiful girl with the big smile, Polly Wanacracker.
Number 2, where were you born?
Tasmania.
Tasmania. Well, what is Tasmania famous for?
Tasmania? Oh, it's the only place that hasn't.
Oh. Number 1, when you made the adventures of Robin Hood, what was her pet name for you when, Olivia de Havilland?
Yes, of course. She called me Poopsie. And I called her De Have.
Number 3, says here, you once worked as a pearl fisherman. Now, just how do you go about telling which oysters have the pearls in them?
Well, that's easy. You just look for the married ones. They're already irritated.
All right, now, we're going to move along here. We'll hear next from Ralph Bellboy. Ralph?
Number 2, who is your publicity agent?
Publicity agent?
Yeah.
Publicity agent? I don't. I can get into trouble on my own time. I need a publicity agent like Yul Brunner needs a haircut.
Tell me, if you're really a movie star, you'll know the answer to this one. If you make a picture in Europe, do you get paid in American dollars or in foreign currency?
Odd question. I don't know. My salary is generally attached, but...
I see. Number three. The real Errol Flynn was a good light heavyweight boxer. Is that right?
Yes.
Could you take a punch on the chin?
Yes, I was very rugged.
Could you take it in the stomach?
Oh, yes, I liked it all over.
Number one, being a seafaring man, you should know the answer to this one. What's the difference between port and starboard?
Well, I know port, but I never drank starboard.
All right, and now we'll continue the questioning with Miss Kitty Carlott.
Can I kiss him?
No. Come on. On this show, it's just questions. That's it.
Nothing. Number two.
Yes?
Number two?
Yes?
What are you doing tonight?
No, please. Enough of that.
Well, what am I doing tonight?
Yes, what are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm just going home to read a book.
Well,
Quietly.
that's not Errol Flynn.
No.
Number one, how many Warner Brothers are there?
One.
Yeah. I thought I had him for a minute there. Look, number one, when you're in New York City, tell me, what hotel do you stay at?
The Park South Hotel.
Yes, number two, what's the number of your room number?
Oh, mine is 1425. Care of Huntington Hartford.
Will 8:30 be too early? 7:30? 6:30?
Please.
2 o'clock?
Miss Carlott.
1 o'clock. Oh, no, wait. Just one more question. I have it. I think I've got it right. Look, when you were doing the Adventures of Don Juan, number 3, that is, I'm a little confused. What you said the number was 114? Yeah. When you were doing the Adventures of Don Juan, number 3, how many women did you make love to?
22. It got so bad I had to use a stuntman for the kissing.
Oh, yes, very charming. Number 2, what's your latest picture?
Oh, me again? Oh, my latest picture?
Your latest picture.
This is Darryl Zanuck's latest hit, The Sun Also Rises, now playing at your neighborhood theater at popular prices. It's an exciting movie, brilliantly acted, and right now, of course, I am making the movie version, darling, of Diana Barrymore's famous bestseller, Too Much Too Soon. I played the part of Jack Barrymore, naturally marvelously.
Gee, what a blabbermouth.
All right, I guess your time is coming up, Miss Carlott.
Wait a minute, just a minute, please.
I know ours is.
May I ask one more question? I'm sure I have it now. Number 2. Number 2. Would you please do me a favor?
Of course.
Look at me and say, darling, I cannot live without you. I love you. Kiss me.
Darling, I love you. I cannot live without you. Kiss me.
Well, sir, we're going to move right along here, I guess, to our next panelist, Hi Gargoyle. There he is. Hi, it's up to you.
Hi, Steve. I've been studying you, and I've come to this conclusion. The 3 of you are lying. Now, according to my deductions, the real Errol Flynn is an athlete and moves with the grace of a cat. Number 2, let me hear you say meow. Meow. Not bad for a man, but lousy for a cat. Number 1, will you please stop playing with your inkwell and pay attention? Now, did you ever get cut while dueling?
Did I ever get caught while dueling? Yes, once in a duel with Basil Rathbone. I was doing this. I cut the whole hand.
Did it hold up the picture?
No, I have a stand-in who does nothing but bleed for me.
Well, I'm sorry. We have no more questions and our bell is broken. But, panel, your time is up, and it's time now to vote, and we'll find out right now which one of these distinguished gentlemen is the real Errol Flynn. Polly, tell us, whom do you vote for?
I voted for number 1.
Why?
Uh,
The only number you had on your desk,
no,
I guess.
he seems more at ease in front of the camera.
I think he does, too. What about you, Ralph?
I voted for number 2. He seems so bored with it all.
All right, and you, Kitty?
Well, I voted for number 3. See, he's been giving me the eye all evening. You crazy nut, you.
And what about you, Hi?
I voted for number 1. I have to. This is the card they gave me.
Well, thank you, panel. Now, will the real Errol Flynn please stand up? All right, fine. Now, number 1, would you please tell us what you do and who you really are?
Well, my name is Gordon Hathaway, and I'm from Manhattan, and I don't do anything. I'm a man on the street. It's just a big party.
All right. Now, we're running a little late. Number 2, would you please tell us who you are and what you do?
Oh, me? Oh, yes. Well, now, if you have to hear the truth, my name is Herman Tuppelmeyer, and I'm a truck driver from the Bronx.
All right, gentlemen. We certainly have enjoyed having you with us tonight, and for you, Mr. Flynn.
Call me Errol.
Oh, thank you, Errol. I just want to thank you so much for taking time out from your very busy schedule to appear on our show to tell a lie.
Well, it was a pleasure, Steve. And, Steve, I have a little request to make.
Certainly. What is it?
I'd like to donate my check to this truck driver from the Bronx. He looks like he needs it.
Well, that's a wonderful gesture. That's it for tonight, folks. Don't fail to join us again next week when we play To Tell a Lie. Good night, out there. Martha Raye is going to sing a number for you now in a second or two after I tell you about this. You know, to some folks, cold weather means skiing and skating, but to most of us, it more often means sniffling and sneezing. Now, around here, though, we've learned when we start to come down with a cold to reach for Choline liquid cold medicine because it brings feelable relief in minutes. If you start a cold with a sore throat, which is what I do, well, relief begins the instant Choline touches those inflamed membranes. You have sniffles, sneezes, stuffed up nose. Well, Choline goes right to work to open up nasal passages. It has you breathing normally in minutes. Tremendously effective. Now, if by any chance you start with that miserable ache all over feeling, well, Choline brings quick relief for tight chest and aching muscles. So if your cold starts with coughing, Choline relieves those cough spasms. It's a fact. Choline can catch your cold at any of its 5 stages. So do as we do around here. Make sure that you've got Choline liquid cold medicine, the most powerful cold medicine you can buy without a prescription. You know, we all think so highly of Martha Raye as a comedian that sometimes we lose sight of the fact that she's also one of our great vocalists. You folks, incidentally, over in Philadelphia will be particularly pleased when I tell you that Martha opens at the Latin Casino tomorrow night. But here's a little preview of her Latin Casino show as she sings Come Rain or Come Shine. Here we are.
guess when you met me, it was just one of those things. But don't ever bet me I'm gonna be true if you let me. You're gonna love me like nobody's loved me. Come rain or come shine, happy together, unhappy together. Oh, won't that be fine? Days may be cloudy or sunny. We're in or we're out of the money. I'm with you always. I'm with you rain or you're gonna love me like nobody's loved me. Oh, come rain or come shine, happy together or unhappy together. Oh, won't that be fine? Days may be cloudy or sunny. We're in or we're out of the month. But I'm with you always. I'm with you rain or
Oh, too bad. You just waxed it, and now it's spotted. And now you'll wax all over again. If that had only been Johnson's self-polishing Stride on that floor, though you wipe up a spill right away or later. This is the wax that spills can't spot. Stride dries to a rich luster without polishing. But from then on, liquid Stride protects like paste wax. That water? Watch this splash test in slow motion. You see, just beads up, doesn't penetrate Stride's waxy film. A damp mop or cloth wipes spills away without a trace even after they've dried. Time after time, you can bring back Stride's shine without re-waxing. Now, with Stride on your floor, spills like this, accidents, drips and splashes, no problem. Stride can take it and come shining through. Though you mop up right away or later, this is the wax that spills can't spot. Try Stride.